includes reviews and critiques of various products, movies, and works of art, and uses content for educational purposes. This program complies with YouTube's terms of service, including its fair use policy.
Are you enjoying what you see week after week? Consider giving us a like and subscribe. It's a small gesture, but it means a lot. Click the little button and give us a thumbs up. Follow our very talented panel. And for butter's sake, go to RosalisComics.com and buy a friggin' comic already.
Let's talk about pop culture madness, memes and reboots, retro classic legends in their suits, Avatar, Star Wars, anime too. We'll talk about the sequels, what's coming through. Sunday come, we go live, on everything you crave and why. We got cheer up, all that you need. We got the pulse of the pop culture speed. Super Sunday wrap up. Sunday, that's what we're talking about. The Super Sunday wrap up. Sunday, that's what we're talking about. Super Sunday, wrap up everything you know. Join the fun, break it down every single show with Super Sunday.
Oh yeah!
I've got one that can see.
Sunday, all the news never be the same.
Has my microphone been off the whole time? It has, hasn't it? Well, that's terrible. Let's talk about what's new on DVD, shall we? Let's see. Come over here. Do this. I'll do that. Or do this so we know what topic we're on. Yeah, we'll do that. So there we go. Let's come back over here, find out what's new on DVD. And we'll do this.
Welcome to After Dark.
No, we won't do that. Let's do this one. There we go. This week, December 17th, 2024, we got some big releases. We've got Joker Folie à Deux, which is great, one of Gray's favorites. That's coming out this week. Transformers 1, which got rave reviews. Terrifier 3, which was a huge mover. Success, if you will, in the slasher horror genre. As well as Conclave, the movie about popes and choosing one. That's also coming out. As well as The Apprentice, which got Sebastian Stan some ill will, if you will. They couldn't find anybody that wanted to pair with him and talk about this movie when they were doing the Actors on Actors, because nobody wanted to say anything positive about Trump, even if it was just the character. So he didn't get to do Actors on Actors this year based on his performance. And apparently he did a really good job of becoming Trump. Did you see it out there? Love to hear about it if you did. Absolution comes out, as well as Sleep, A Great Divide, and From Embers. Again, I said it's a big week, so we got Mafia Wars, Mudbrick, Hellboy, The Crooked Man, which is based on a specific comic book. The final seasons of Blue Bloods, if you're into collecting TV shows, police procedural dramas, there's that, as well as Betrayal. And Severance Season 1 is out. If you don't have the Apple subscription, you can do that. What happened here? Let's do this one. All right, yeah. SEAL Team, the final season. Out Come the Wolves. Daryl Dixon, The Walking Dead, Season 2. So that's kind of cool. The Last Rifleman, and then finally, You're Not There. So there's a big week for DVDs. The reason you would collect the DVD is because not everything you want to watch is on streaming, and not everything that's on streaming stays on streaming. So a good example of that would be the WWE library, which will not transfer over to Netflix. Not all of it. And the reason being that it's not going to all transfer is because not a lot of people were watching some of the old stuff, like the old WCCW, the Texas Wrestling, or the OVW stuff, the Georgia Wrestling, all of that, which was completely available 100% of the time. Well, not 100%, but it was they were made available during the WWE app era, the streaming. But now, as they move further and further away from controlling it themselves and taking it to Peacock and taking it to Netflix and joining these partnerships, these titles, these matches, these pay-per-views, the history of what's going on in wrestling is disappearing right before your eyes. So if you want to preserve Severance for yourself or Daryl Dixon for your own personal viewing, whenever you decide that you want to do such a thing, please do go out and collect the DVD and add them to your own personal digital library and save it for a rainy day when the internet's out. The streaming service you got to has gone away. Yo, Bride. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. How's the weather like out there? I know you guys had a lot of rain, a lot of things like that, but hopefully things are coming back to normal. And heard about that dude that got arrested again for another post on X or Facebook or something. So, hope you're safe out there in across the pond. So that's what's coming to DVD. Yeah. And boom. Wait a minute. Let's do this again. Let's go back over here. And hide that choice. What's this? Grok's free for the day. If anyone didn't notice, it's quite good. I'm not sure I'd like to play with the Twitter AI. I kind of think of it as a test. Like they've got these psychological tests, I believe, and I think maybe Facebook did that for a while. They would put stuff in your feed to see if it would make you angry, or put stuff in your feed to see if it made you happier, so that they could do these psychological tests, kind of. But they didn't tell you about it, so you didn't get to join up in it, unless there was something in there when they updated their policy notice that said they could gather information from you, which meant you volunteered for the test. So I wonder what all of this AI stuff is all about, that they're giving it away for free. Wind's calmed down, but it's still wet. I caught a little rain this morning, a little drizzle, a little fog out there. So yeah, well, feeling kind of Britishy out there. I mean, it's not cold or anything, but certainly not hot. Let's see what else we got going on here. Ooh! Saturday night's main event. That was brought to us by NBC and Peacock. And I guess we can talk about the wrestling. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, we'll do that. And then come back over here. Or was I? Oh, yeah, right there. And boom, look at that. Here we go. Wrong one. There we go. Back to the intros. Let's hear one. It's a Geary. So here we are. We're talking wrestling. This weekend, they had a throwback to the Saturday night's main events of the early 90s, late 80s, whatever it was. And they brought back Jesse the Body Ventura for some commentary, some color commentary in the main event. They put 4 matches in 2 hours, which I guess is better than they normally do on a Saturday night, because if it's a pay-per-view, they're going to go 4 hours and do 4 matches. So this time around, we had Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre put him down very, very definitively. Yes, they brought out Jesse the Body Ventura there. And the Women's World Championship match, Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan retained with a bloody nose. She took a knee to the face that just kind of, it wasn't gushing, but it was, I wouldn't say it was broken either. But something popped up inside that nose, and she had it running down her lip by the time she got the 1, 2, 3. And Mommy came out at the very end of that, so they had themselves a little stare down. Then you had the World Heavyweight Championship match, which is a 3-way versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor and Gunther. And Gunther retained. So apparently, according to WWE, this match was crazy. Yes, there's the result right there. Gunther defeated Balor and Priest to retain. The Women's United States Championship Tournament match finals put Mi Chin versus Chelsea Green. Now, the Women's United States Championship was a belt recently created, and there was a whole tournament behind this whole thing that got it started. And these two went at it, and I fully expected Mi Chin to come out and take the prize. However, it was not given to, but she won, Chelsea Green, with a flatliner is what it's called, or an unprettier is what they said it was. She basically came out of the corner into it, so she did a somersault over Mi Chin, landing in position, and then dropping her right on her face, essentially. So it was quite an impressive move out of the corner. I've never seen one done like that. And Green becomes the inaugural United States champion for women, Women's United States champion. That's a C+. Look at that. That's not bad for a Chelsea Green match. And then finally, as the main event, the undisputed champion, Cody Rhodes, took on Kevin Owens in a back-and-forth match that blurred the lines of what cheating is. Cody Rhodes finally defeated Kevin Owens by doing his Cody Cutter on a steel chair and then kicked it out of the way before the referee could see it. There were at least 2 ref bumps and 2 referees for this match in total. And it wasn't the cleanest good guy finish for Cody Rhodes, who did go into this saying he was willing to do anything to beat Kevin Owens. And he did. He beat him. But after the match and after the lights went out and the show was over, Kevin Owens came back into the ring and attacked Cody Rhodes from behind, putting him in a package pile driver and dropping him on his head. After which he stole the Winged Eagle belt, which Cody Rhodes brought out specifically for this match. And was confronted by Triple H. All of this caught on cell phone cameras and not broadcast on TV. So this broke through social media is what it did. And eventually he got the winged belt away from him, but there was a shoving match. And all of this is part of the show, by the way. So none of this is like breaking news, sort of thing. Um, but due to the fact that they're playing up Kevin Owens' package pile driver and it being an illegal move, it does forward the story along and it buys them a whole lot of time. I think a month ago, Randy Orton took one of these pile drivers and hasn't been seen since. So he's been out of the picture. So we can expect to see Cody Rhodes not defend his title again for a few months. WWE loves the games, no desire to watch the actual thing. I have not bought a 2K game in years, Sean. Not in a while. I did buy the AEW game. Was not impressed with it, and I didn't like the idea that they were trying to do seasons like Fortnite or something else. And I understand wanting to keep a specific game going without having to buy it every year like 2K, but the DLCs were really just not that good for the price that they were giving. So I stopped playing it. It wasn't as fun. I didn't buy any of the DLCs, and that it was basically a bare bones game when it came out. So it made sense to me when AEW decided they were not going to continue with Ukes for the development of the game. And all's been quiet on the Western Front when it comes to that. So, but yeah, I still own some of the earlier WWE 2K games, just not any of the latest. Sean says, I used to like WWE as a kid. I tried to get back into it last year and I couldn't get into it. Well, it'll be a lot easier for you to try again once they move over to Netflix on January, because a lot of people do have Netflix. And, if it's there, it's there. It's kind of like Dave Chappelle specials. If it's there, you'll watch it. I don't know if you go out of your way for a Dave Chappelle special, but if it's there, you'll watch it, Anthony Jeselnik has a new Netflix special that I think is awesome. But yeah, they are trying some new things to get people in, like this sort of viral moment. The show isn't over until after they do something off the cameras, so it makes you feel a little behind the scenes. But Cole, did you ever watch the wrestling, the WWE?
No, I didn't have time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. But so it was a pretty good match, I guess. And they did the angle after the show to draw interest, so that you can find out what happens on Monday. So expect on Monday that they will announce that somebody's not feeling well, somebody's not doing so well. Cody Rhodes, that is, and that he'll be out of action. If they plan on keeping him out of action for a while, they may decide to strip him of his title and have some kind of tournament to culminate. And that would be a great way of taking away from him so that he doesn't actually have to lose it. Multi, do you follow the WWE?
Unfortunately, I don't, but when I hear about it, that sounds fun. I just don't have the time, unfortunately, but hi there.
Hi there. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How's your week been?
Oh, that was another great week. It's Christmas time soon, so having a good time, as usual. What about you?
Oh, yeah, it's been a really good week. Really good week. We took our kids to what I thought was Theater in the Round. We got a place called Casa Manana. It's a dome, and we did a homeschool field trip. A homeschool field trip is when one busybody mother who homeschools buys upwards of 50 tickets for a show. And doing so, she gets the school discount. And then she turns around and sells it to other people to go with them. And then you go as a group, and then you sit together as a group, and then watch the show. Now, when I was a kid, Casa Mañana was a full theater in the round. You could sit 360 around the play going on. But now they've cut it in half, essentially, and have all of the seats facing one direction, so it's no longer theater in the round. It's just theater. Anyway, the kids loved it.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun thing to do with kids.
Yeah, it was a night before Christmas, which was kind of like Into the Woods, where they take it and then they add a story around it. That was fine. It was fine. The kids loved it. The kids enjoyed it. There was a Bruno Mars song in it, and it was just it's an okay time. I mean, for the kids, it's great. As an adult, it's fine.
Kids will like anything as long as the parents are there, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Good
morning, Pops. How are you, sir?
I'm trying to get over how bored I was watching last night's event.
The Cody Rhodes match didn't draw you in.
Well, look, it's like this. If you're gonna play up a huge event like that and not one title changes hands, why bother?
Again,
why bother? It's the same stuff we had last week. Nothing changed. No different storyline going forward. No, it's boring. That's all.
This was not necessarily a title change, but Chelsea Green is the inaugural Women's United States Champion.
I know, and if we're going to at least have one thing different, we could have made it better than that. God, come on.
I think their United States champion right now is this era's Tajiri. So
it's just bad.
It's it was okay for what it was, I think. But you know what? I love that you have an opinion. That's great.
Look, we watched it, right? I mean,
yes, we did.
We watched it hoping that it was going to bring back the old main event vibes.
Yeah, but all they brought back was the old people.
And we have the same show. Basically, nothing changed. That's what I mean. It's like if you're going to put that many titles on the line and not one of them's going to change hands, you're basically wasting the fans' time. We're here for what is going to be different. What's going to happen that's going to catch us? Where's the hook from the left side of the stage? Nothing. It was boring. There wasn't even any surprises. Maybe that Chelsea won. Okay, that might be a surprise.
I think that's the only surprise out of it. And I think in a rematch, it's going to be handed over. The inaugural champion, I don't think, is going to have this tremendous reign like Gunther.
She's no Chris Jericho. It's not something people are going to be talking about in 40 years that she was the first U.S. Nobody's going to care because she has no fan base. She has
you know what this championship is like? Let's hear from Multi real quick, and then
I gotta ask this because guys are a lot more into this than me. I'm wondering, is there really people into female wrestling? Like, it's like I feel like it's like other sports where it's the gender that's kind of left behind. I'm wondering.
This is the problem. You cannot consider wrestling a sport. Wrestling is entertainment. It's comedy. It's supposed to be fun. Okay, now I'm not saying those guys aren't out there doing some seriously acrobatic shit, but it's not a sport. Okay, come on, man. Michin would have killed her if that was a fight. Okay, it wouldn't even been a fight. Michin would kill her in a fight. It's not even a question of that. See? So you got to go in with a grain of humor if you want to watch wrestling and be a fan.
It does make me wonder who they really want this championship for, because traditionally, Chelsea Green is not a serious athlete, and she's kind of a comedy act.
Yes.
And her and her cohort, Piper Niven, when they were the women's tag team champions, that title was a joke. So it was not like the belt was not considered serious. So if this championship is on her for any length of time, they run the risk of actually having it be a joke title that nobody takes seriously. So you got to wonder, are they going to pull it from her rather quickly within the before the end of the month? And who they're gonna hand it to, because you've got a lot of really strong contenders, Michin being one of them, but also some of the former UFC chicks chicks, didn't mean that, women that that can actually stand up and represent and be a strong looking champion in the same vein as Gunther, who can chop hard as sin. So, the Liv Morgan title is really, really walking that fine line of being a joke title right now.
I must also ask this: are really women into that? Like people fighting? I know it's entertainment, but like, I feel like it's the same audience that watch both leagues, but there's maybe less people into the one with the women. I don't know.
Well,
maybe I'm too judgmental.
I can tell you that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pops.
I was going to say, if you saw the pre-fight before the Jake Mike fiasco, if you saw those two chicks fight, you'd understand why people like watching chicks fight. If they can fight, it's entertaining.
And they're serious about it. They are really, really serious about it. There's a wrestler called Bayley in WWE, and one of her fans, a little girl named Izzy, or Isabella, would always be there in the same seat during her times in NXT. And because it was a local show done locally at the Performance Center, she was able to be there every single week in the exact same spot. And everybody knew that's where Izzy sat. And she was just the biggest fan of Bayley. And she even became part of the storyline during an Iron Woman match between Bayley and Sasha Banks, to a point where Sasha Banks went out, took her sign and ripped it up, and then went back outside and took her hair bow that she had like Bayley did at the time, and took it off her head and threw it away. Made the little girl cry. Okay.
Pulling airs. Wow.
So it's dramatic heel moves, very, very dramatic story. Long story short, Bayley's she looks like a grandmother now, kind of like the grandmother that would still go out drinking with the kids, if you know what I mean. So she's aged up, and so has Izzy. And Izzy is now basically channeling the old Bayley in her presentation. She's a wrestler now, and she wrestles in the independent circuit. And she goes out and she makes sure to find a little girl and give her a high five and recognize her just the way Bayley did when she was coming up. So yes, women take this seriously. Little girls take this seriously, and they're inspired by the achievements that are done. Unless, like Liv Morgan here, you're a heel character.
Well, I kind of felt like Izzy was kind of how the Hugger character was born.
Yeah.
The Hugger character that Bayley came to the WWE with, came to the big show with, that Hugger personality. I think that was like partially due to her relationship with Izzy.
I think, she'd mentioned before that she channels her inner 12-year-old, which would have been about that, for Izzy.
Yeah.
That sounds funny. Channeling our 12 years old. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, and most streamers who go on their streams nowadays channel their inner a-hole. And,
like me and my bad takes right now.
Yeah.
No. That's only 4 of our 30 shows during the week.
Yeah, but you get to know these guys afterwards, and they're just regular people. Sometimes you got to take what's inside of you and turn it up a little bit, and use that to be a character online. And oh man, I just don't have the energy for that. To just be that combative and competitive. You end up having these dramas.
That's why I keep giving these shows away, Dan.
Drama is fun. It's content.
Okay, you said it. Content. So that was wrestling, guys. You missed the DVD segment.
That's a bit unfortunate. Conclave was really cool. Terrifier is trash. Joker is trash. Transformer 1 was cool. So...
Don't listen to Mult. And piece by
trash. What are you talking about, Cole?
Okay. So then you watched the first Scream and was like, this is terrible because you didn't realize all of the cliches and everything were part of the film and intentional.
It's just bad.
Making fun of horror.
Terrifier 3.
Okay. And
cool.
Joker was trash, so yeah.
Terrifier 3 was like over the top gore. It couldn't get any. You couldn't get more out of it than they gave you. If you weren't a fan of that one, I don't know what to tell you. It's like they gave you all of it.
Yeah, but as I know, piece by piece, it's pretty solid. I'm just weirded why they made a whole Lego music biopic of millions of old people, but it's pretty good, I guess. Yeah, Conclave is great too.
It's a montage.
I'm actually surprised Transformer 1 came out on DVD this week, because that movie came out like in September, so they took a long time in theater, I guess.
Yeah, it sure did. But it's out now. I mean, it's kind of like the old model of movies, where you do theatrical and then you do streaming or cable, and then you release on DVD, and eventually you wind up on television or something, broadcast.
I need coffee. I will be right back.
Absolutely. Grab your beverage of choice. The other movies, The Apprentice, I talked about that a little bit.
Great film.
I heard Sebastian Stan did a good job of playing Donald Trump.
I am wondering, do you guys think that one will be mentioned in the hours or anything? The Apprentice?
You mean
Don't believe so.
Yeah, do you think that one will show up for something?
Well, there are other ones that are not, but it should be. It should get performance. There's a slight chance it gets makeup and hairstyling, but that's it. That and A Different Man he also did will probably be overshadowed, sadly. Even though he was fantastic.
A Different Man deserves it.
Yeah, and then
I think the Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying also that Slate film there, that's pretty good as well for anybody who hasn't heard of it or seen it. I know Bong Joon-ho kind of, I believe, gave it a shout out. It's kind of similar to his other work, so yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? I may have to give that a look. I think the big problem with The Apprentice is the subject matter, and nobody wants to praise anything related to the subject matter. So he's out for any kind of award, because no one's going to say, "Hey, great job being Trump," because it means that you praise Trump. So.
Well, that's funny that you say that. I can understand this, but let's play devil's advocate there. The guy won the election. I mean, like, as much as he gets a lot of hate from normal media, he won the election.
It doesn't matter because of I don't know if you've seen the film or not yet, Multi, but it's not nice towards Trump at all. It's just truthful. It's kind of like Shakespearean, as Austin said, and with its depiction. So Trump's not going to see it, which they didn't, because anything that's just negative towards him, they're like, boo. And then the people who hate him, they're like, oh, it wasn't negative enough towards him. They didn't make him completely Satan. And I'm like, okay. And then the people
lose.
Yes, and then the people in between are like, well, I don't need to see this. There's no point. I already know his life story. And I'm just like, and Jesus Christ, there's in that.
Okay. The thing about the people that avoided it because they hate him is that it's not a documentary, and it's a film about his life. Yeah, it's going to be based on it, and it's going to be loosely based on it, and they do make a lot of implications and innuendos about things that have not come up in court necessarily, or may have been dismissed.
Or a couple of things that aren't, really things that are strongly hinted at, and there is like evidence behind, but there are things where they take creative liberties, but there's mainly one thing where there's definitely like no confirmed proof behind it, and that's the one like the one I don't know if I could just ape scene, I'll say grape scene, as a censor, I guess, and I think that was more so though used just as a kind of message about like the allegations of it, sort of like how they always hint at the election in it and other things. So
that's what you meant right there, right? That's what you were talking about?
Oh yeah, sure.
I didn't think of that one.
Go ahead and try to figure that one out, YouTube. All right. So, the thing about that is like there have been a lot of people lying about what's going on. And ABC and George Stephanopoulos had to pay $15 million and his lawyer fees of about $100 million, or not $100 million, but $1 million.
Wow.
Because they said some things that they thought they could say, and it turned out to be slanderous, and so much so in a way that you could actually prove it in a court of law, which is very, very hard if you're a public figure to have somebody, do the slander thing on you. You can't really prove, well, you know what, you're in the public eye, and then people say this and this and this, and it's really hard to show that they had malice in it. But yeah, they had to take it back. And a lot of people haven't had to take back what they've said about him that were not necessarily true. But this isn't a place to talk about that. It's a place to talk about the fact that the movie is being, from people who would appreciate it and from people who wouldn't appreciate it, they're avoiding it for the exact same reason. And, the point is that it is a movie. It's just a movie. Take it or leave it, and do your own research, no matter what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Do your own research and find out for yourself, because there's a lot of people out there who believe one way or the other about OJ, and that's because they did their own research. And whatever happens. If you want to go by the letter of the law, some things came back guilty convictions. Some things didn't. Some things were thrown out. Some things have not yet been thrown out, but are being challenged. So if you want to wait on the letter of the law, go by that. If not, do your own research and figure it out for yourself. But the point is that Sebastian Stan, will be passed over for his really, really accurate portrayal of this character. And that's a shame. He didn't get a chance to do the actor on actor because nobody wanted to sit across him and have the semblance of praising Donald Trump at all, even for his portrayal of him. They wouldn't do it, and so he got left out of that, and they sent him on his way. And That's a shame because if he did such a great job, he should be recognized for the great job
Yeah,
that he
I
did.
mean, you never know though. Again, the Golden Globe nominees were released, and he was nominated for both A Different Man and the Apprentice. So, never know.
Wait, it was on both? Okay, now The Apprentice is officially on my watch list. I did consider it for a long time, but now it's officially in it. If the guy was on Indifferent Man, it's on it now.
Well, there you go. You have the ability to pick up a copy for yourself and put it in your own personal digital library as it becomes available on the 17th, Tuesday. So.
Yeah. Although I'm not holding my breath because of that, though, because ever since the Golden Globe scandals, they kind of redid their jury, and it's been very film buffy. So they usually nominate films like that. The others don't. So.
You know what I expect? I expect the first time ever boos during the announcement right before the award, as they say, and the nominees are so and so.
I don't think they'll do that.
I think they will. I think they will. I think there's enough animosity out there for it.
I don't, because they'll be booing Sebastian Stan. No, I don't think they'll do that, and they still respect him. They just want to stay away from be connected to that and stuff. But they won't. I don't think they'll boo them. I think the only time I remember even that happening at an award show with something winning or being announced, there's been some controversial ones and they still didn't boo, like that Detainment short film and other things. I think the last time I've heard at the Oscars or anywhere was when Bowling for Columbine won the documentary.
Well, I'll have to eat crow then when the Golden Globes do their show, if they don't do it. But I got a feeling that's going to happen.
You got to remember who the audience is. This is a Hollywood audience. They're not going to be happy.
I mean, Ricky Gervais roasting them.
They didn't grow because they were shocked, bro.
Well, yeah.
So, did you happen to see Betrayal, Cole?
Betrayal, no, it looks bad, but maybe I'll give it a watch. I did see The Crooked Man, and for some reason, even though it was going straight to DVD, my random theater here had it a week before its release in theaters. So
what?
I saw it. Yeah, so I saw it, and yeah, it was bad. It's not as bad as people say. There are some aspects there. Usually with the films by that director, they've done stuff like the second Hellraiser film and other things where, yeah, they're not well made, but they do stuff where it's going into it, their projects are kind of and at least make it enjoyable and do some things that are kind of wacky and fun. This is the case here, but it's also kind of just a huge letdown. It's a very cool, idea comic, and yeah, it's just other people could have been great, but yeah, it's pretty bad, especially just the visual side of it because of the low budget.
That comic book itself is very well loved in the community, and they were very, very excited about that until they saw the face of Hellboy.
Yeah.
The thing about this is it doesn't look. It looks like they just put some pancake makeup on the guy, but they actually did put several layers of makeup on this guy. I'm talking about prosthetics, and it doesn't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know how to do it, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of TV shows out as well on DVD, so you can pad your collection. Out Come the Wolves. I don't think that and The Last Rifleman. I've heard nothing about those.
Me neither.
And finally, you're out there. You're not there. But yeah, so that's what you guys missed earlier, and the wrestling. Luckily, we do have a wheel. Let me go back over here real quick. Boom.
Yeah. Well, I was actually gonna ask though. Yeah, sorry to do this and ruin your wheel, but I might have to go in like around 15 minutes or so. So if you did want to like do that one topic, if not, that's fine. We can do it another week.
Well, let's see if I can find it here. Over off to the side. Oh, it's just a picture, isn't it? Yeah.
Nice wheel. By the way, because I was able to, at the time I did watch Creatures Commando. So I'm up to speed with that one.
Nice, yeah. And all the people complaining about the James Gunn, video you released, yeah.
If we don't land on this, we'll do it on Friday.
Okay. I hope it doesn't land on it now. Oh, damn it.
The Game Awards! It won!
Holy smokes, where did that come from all of a sudden? Let me see. Come back over here to the intros.
This year just sounded so bad when it came to video games. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Right, so, there was this this tweet thing. Where'd it go?
I can send it to you again, but yeah, so yeah, the Game Awards were the other night.
Oops.
And yeah, talked a lot about it, I guess, and
There we go. Found it.
yes, yeah, so they did this Game Changers Award thing, basically, and they've done this before. They acted like this was the first time, which it wasn't, which is really funny, but yeah, it was a moment when people like, oh, that's cool. Then people did some digging, and yeah, it wasn't like how it, if you want to like thread, I guess, then you can, but yeah.
Well, they gave this guy an award simply because he helped a handful of people that were laid off in the industry a job. He helped them find a job, and he's uniquely qualified to help them find a job, it turns out. But, it's like they gave him an award because these people were happy. They were so happy. And they ran a montage praising this guy and his ability to turn their lives around and keep their livelihoods going and finding them work in the industry that laid them off in the first place. And that was the first big thing. He says here that the Game Awards had stalwartly refused to acknowledge that anything bad ever happens in the gaming industry. Thousands of people would be laid off, and the show would start it with, "It's been an incredible year. Let's celebrate." So, what does this chart mean?
It feels just so weird. It's the gaming award, and they're praising someone not because he was involved necessarily in the game making or that process, but they praise him for hiring people, finding jobs. What?
Well, that's fine. That's it.
Why gamers should care?
It's not. I mean, it's not like an award for games. I mean, it's like a lifetime of thing. I mean, people do care though, because the game industry is cruel, and they talk about it all the time and how they treat their artists. But yeah,
and more people each year are laid off from the industry because of the choices that are made by these billion-dollar companies, and they are still billion-dollar companies, regardless of whether their games perform or not.
Yeah.
And what he did was he made this spreadsheet that you could add yourself to with your information. And I believe he cherry picked certain people.
Yeah, of course. Like he, as the thread said, like he started off by admitting that layoffs happen, but then wavered and quivered at the idea that he must always remain neutral. Very hard decision. Impressive how hard it was to say this year has been difficult for some, especially at such a serious event. Yeah. Yeah, and then can read here, I guess. Then they paraded Amir up on the stage after explaining that he, believe it or not, made an Excel spreadsheet that people put their information in if they were laid off. There have been a lot of layoffs for several years, but now there was a spreadsheet.
There we go.
don't mean to downplay so hard. If you're one of the people who lost their jobs, I honestly feel sorry for you. Okay, and I know no one is going out of their way to help you, so every single bit of help feels like a lot. But this is literally a spreadsheet where you self-input information. Yeah.
Because when your entire plan is ripped away from you and suddenly the future you thought you had is now an impossible fiction, it can absolutely feel like you need anything. And to be clear, there is now a whole network of other people who have rallied to provide real resources. And they illustrate the 15 resources that are available right now for career planning, support posting, role listing, and so on. And they brought this man up on stage, and he said he made a spreadsheet when no one else could do anything. Yeah, that's kind of it's the opposite of self-deprecating. What is that? I don't.
We got like sorry to interrupt you, but we got like Charles popping up in the backstage apparently.
Oh, Charles is in the background?
Apparently.
Apparently, okay. Well, let me switch gears real quick, and I'll go over here, and I will do this. Sir.
Apparently.
I there.
It's evident that I'm here.
It's evident now. All right, where was I? Yeah, they brought this man on stage, and he made a spreadsheet when no one else would do anything. They paraded him in front of the people who literally fired everyone. It's a room of the people who fired the people you say you're helping. Then they awarded you for it. A large chunk of the audience is people. Oh, did you want to do this one? Cole?
Audiences, yeah, people who just missed. They're planning to lay off people right now. They're going to do it next month. They gave in volunteer services to their Miskinstrian sacrifices. They clapped for you. The ultimate irony, of course, is that they did depict him as such. They didn't explain who the guy was at all, as some guy who just for reason it with no expectations and never asked Hearn and was just like a big fan of the industry. Yeah. They pretty much depicted him as that.
Yeah.
I remembered hearing his name somewhere though, and I was like, where have I heard that? And then I realized I know League of Legends.
Look at this picture. He's wearing a T-shirt and some kind of funky leather jacket that somebody like me would wear who doesn't do anything in the industry. It looks like just some guy who volunteered his spare time from doing a website or doing a YouTube channel or something. To help people out. And he did about that amount of work, creating just a spreadsheet so people could find a job.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, and I'll go to the next one. Yeah, number one, Amir is positioning himself as some sort of number one Google search result for games that provides executive perks and funnels viewers to other people's blogs, most of whom charge for paid speaking gigs. TGA also positioned Amir as some guy who just felt really bad for everyone, some fan of games, felt a need to do something to address it. And while, he's being paraded everyone, he's at least doing something. Amir is surprised part of the same crowd. Amir finds sent to acquire after coming from Amazon Games, which collectively had layoffs of at least 1,000 people. He's not $490 billion fucking super corporation. Wow. Who would have thought? And I recognized his games from Riot Games. Yeah, Tencent owns Riot Games and has major stakes in Ubisoft, Epic Games, From Software, Larian Studios, Krafton, Grinding Gear, Remedy, Digital Extremes, Inflection, Supercell, Platinum, Jaeger, just all these shit, and even Discord, wow. Yeah, Tencent represents 50% of China's mobile game market and 35% of the entire gaming industry. and is the most profitable gaming company. Yes, more than Microsoft or Sony or Apple, Google, EA, or Nintendo, and beats most of those by double or triple earnings. So you have an exec for gaming's top company applauded by gaming's highest execs for creating a self-input spreadsheet and leveraging other people's volunteer labor, receiving an award for helping people laid off by the people applaud the guy who works for one of the offenders. Yep. Look, he's great that he's doing anything at all. Wouldn't it be nice that if that room full of industry execs representing 500 billion in annual revenue did more than award a guy for making a spreadsheet? And isn't it sad that the very best anyone did was make a spreadsheet?
And
that's where it ends.
The thing is, and let me come back over here real quick. The thing of it is that if he was hiring people from the pool of people that laid off back to the companies that laid them off, they laid off too many in the first place, didn't they?
Yeah, but also there were other people who did some digging into it, and they rarely checked the reasons why a lot of the people were fired. Like, it could have very well been many of them, they were just bad at their jobs, like they didn't check, and also a lot of the high errands he did were kind of DEI do this strategy where they honestly like hire a bunch of those type of people and then lets the companies fucking sink so then they can pick them up.
Well, that sounds kind of scuzzy.
I think it happens a lot that a lot of studios think. I don't know. Like, Ubisoft is not doing that well.
Charles, do you have an opinion on any of the gaming awards? And
to claim that the corporations are putting on that shindig is a little lost. That's a journalist industry that is setting up those awards. So it's not the CEOs that set up that award show.
They're the ones advertising their games to give them money so that they can have the award show. And the award show,
they aren't running the show. They aren't giving awards away.
Well, I don't know. That award seemed to be given away. There were no other.
Not by the corporations.
It's kind of like having a sponsored award, but also having skin in the game of who gets the award.
So Jeff Keighley, who was previously with Spike Video Games, is the executive for the Game Awards.
Okay.
It's its own company.
Okay. Is it not subsidized by these other companies?
When you say subsidized, what do you mean? Advertised, sure, but they get advertised from Monster Drink. Does that mean they're going to give awards for people for drinking caffeine?
In relation to games, they may find a
now
way.
I want that. Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, that does keep
sounds
you at
amazing.
the council a little longer if you got the old Monster and the old things to help keep you awake. Trust me on that one there, guys.
My predictions for the Game Awards was right about maybe 25 to 15%, and that's because I played none of the games and just guessed. So I don't know a whole lot about the industry and the games and everything else. I have to think, though, that if this is given by industry journalists, there's got to be reasons why the journalists did what they did and gave the award to it. Because obviously, there's probably somebody better suited to receive an award like that who isn't so well connected into it, unless they didn't research it.
And wouldn't you have people like who actually play the games as your people deciding what games are good?
So journalists aren't people who play the games?
They probably don't play the games like gamers do. They're journalists. They have jobs.
It's too clever for them.
Their job
Don't worry.
is to play the games.
It's too clever for them to do that.
Well, look.
Go ahead, Cole. Go ahead.
BAFTAs and others, they do the same requirements. They set and everything. With the Game Awards jury is like really amateur, and there's like no requirements of like needing to play like a certain percentage. It basically like they just grab like one person from each like publishing thing and some like top figures like Todd, put them in a room and just like, okay, what's good this year? That's pretty much how they do it. It's a really amateur way, and yeah.
So then why are you taking it seriously then?
Funny to laugh at it.
The game of the year this year was Astro Boy. Or Astrobot.
Did you play it, Cole? Is it worthy?
Yeah, I did play it. It's on my friend's console, and yeah, I would not say it's the best game of the year at all, but I did expect it to win. The reason why is because safest choice by far, and it's surprised people actually was because there was low X Game Awards, since it's a whole advertiser thing, mainly consoles. They always have huge bias for, but mainly PlayStation. It's a huge place because PlayStation games are cinematic games and everything for the game journalists to play who can't beat the Cuphead tutorial. So yeah, it was a whole like Nintendo style game was somehow able to do, which shocked people. It had low expectations. It had just a bunch of Sony anniversary thing and tribute to it, and it was the safest choice since was enjoyed by everyone, even if everybody didn't think it was amazing. So yeah, not shocking, especially in a weak year. But yeah, did it deserve it? Say.
The big question after that is how many microtransactions must be done to complete the game?
If you're willing to wait 12 hours, I think not any at all. But yeah, so that's your game of the year. And oddly enough, it was also the best action adventure game of the year. And it got game direction of the year, as well as best family game of the year. So there's a lot that this casual Nintendo style game got that beat out others that were, you would think would be the ones that would be the favorites for the category. But again, I don't know anything about it, and I have to admit that Cuphead tutorial is hard. So I guess I think like a journalist. So
yeah. Again, if it was my choice, then yeah, I'd pick Metaphor. But it's just me, and I'm at least glad Prince of Persia got one thing, even if it was just an accessibility award.
Maybe Astrobot is a metaphor for the gaming industry.
It is. Oh, yeah. If you want to have a good laugh, then just look at the number of dislikes the Astrobot win is getting on YouTube and Twitter by everyone. Oh, and the new Naughty Dog game reveal. It's pretty fun too. They're up to, I think, 200,000 dislikes now.
Yeah, but
so you're holding in high regard the dislikes on a YouTube video.
Guards, yes, it's the highest regards. No, it's just funny.
Okay.
It takes a lot of effort to maintain that many accounts in order to downvote something or ratio something. So
Sure.
you got to give those 12 guys mad props for
And they got a lot of time to waste, That's funny.
Yep.
Have you seen the farms, the bot farms in China, where they've got all the phones set up so that they can be controlled by a single
Phones?
computer? Yes, telephones, used apps, and things like that, so that they all have individual
cell
IPs and things like
Oh, you
that.
meant like, hello,
No.
go to
Oh,
YouTube now.
Yeah.
All the Chinese bots in the
So-
comment sections that defend everything China, and also the North Korean bots. Those are great.
Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Let me find my way back over here real quick because I think we've got another topic we can. Too low. There you go. How low can you go? Let's give it a spin.
I don't know if there's anything left on the board I have an opinion on.
Skeleton Crew, maybe?
Let me reiterate.
Something I haven't seen.
My goodness.
Time.
That's a surprisingly good show.
Next week.
Well, thanks for being here, Cole. I appreciate you taking the time to come out and visit with us. And
yeah, no problem.
I think there's going to be some more Twitter action about the Game Awards, so maybe we'll revisit it. Who knows?
I doubt it. After like a few days, which is good.
Okay. All right then.
But
take care,
You can
Cole.
always hope, right?
Yeah, and I'll try to watch it.
Have a good one.
Yeah, me too.
Later, Uncle.
So, I've got some ideas about what's going on with Skeleton Crew, and I think I've said it before that as long as they don't head towards Palpatine, I think I'm going to enjoy it. And it looks like
You'll
they're
be all
heading
right if they
towards-
go towards Skywalker?
No, I would rather they didn't go towards any of them. It is a big freaking
agree.
universe,
agree.
and there should be multiple life-threatening, life-altering universal events that can happen concurrently that a lot of people just don't know anything about.
I just want to say this one time for everybody who works at Disney. Wrath Squadron. Wrath Squadron. Do it.
I think what they're trying to do is use this
what-
show.
Something Squadron? What Squadron?
Wrath Squadron. It's part of the old EU, and it was some of the best stuff, man. It had espionage, space battles. It had everything Star Wars is supposed to be: Jedi's, bad guys.
Was that a comic book or a
No,
book?
it was in the EU. It was in the extended universe.
That's-
Wrath Squadron, Rogue Squadron, X-Wing Squadron. There's like 20 books.
Okay,
And
that's
they're
what I was
the
wondering.
best stuff. They're the best stuff in the EU.
They
And
disavowed that
know
at the very beginning when they took over. So, yeah. You don't remember Kathleen Kennedy coming out and saying there's nothing to build off of, so we're going to have to do something new?
Yeah, there's nothing. There was only 200 novels in the EU when that when that lady said that.
It was this close. It was this close.
200, I'm surprised. I only knew about like 20, but 200, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's about probably 300 now. But I mean,
Wow.
a few that they've added since they changed the EU to Legends and started this new alternate timeline. And that's what I call it, yo. It's an alternate timeline. The real timeline is the extended universe.
Yeah, but now you're getting into your own personal canon, and nobody can disagree with you with that because
That's
it's your
right.
own personal
That's
canon.
right.
It
That's
has
right.
nothing to do with what's going on with the whole thing.
Yeah, it does, because look at they're trying to bring characters back that they can't bring back canon, like Thrawn. They're trying to pull out of the EU and put into the new, but they can't bring his right hand Mara Jade because she married Luke Skywalker in the EU. So they can't even bring the timelines together. They screwed it up so bad. And there's still some great characters that they could build on. Admiral Thrawn, and she screwed it up, dude. She screwed it up. That's all there is to it. She really
I think the whole Rey saga might have been a little bit different had they not done the Skywalker Palpatine angle. Just start fresh, start brand new, invent something totally new. You got countless worlds and characters waiting to be discovered out there, and it was an opportunity to launch a new saga and bring a fresh perspective to the Star Wars universe, and they didn't do any of that.
that was why I liked the Wrath Squadron and stuff, because it was a different branch of the government that was doing, counterintelligence and stuff like that against the Empire's remnants and anybody new coming along. It was, you know what I mean? It was like they were out there doing different stuff. It wasn't the same crap. It was all different planets, new stuff, and it was fun to read. And
this is what I'm saying they should have done, but they didn't do that. And the things that are happening in the show are actually reflecting the fact that they are leading back their way back to that. And what they want to do is what Dave Filoni did with the Clone Wars and everything else that he did, that kind of solidified what the and made better and wrote backstory for the prequel trilogies. So he fortified those with the work that he's done subsequent to that. And that's what they want to happen now. They want to take this and fortify the following trilogy. So the with the Rey and all that other kind of stuff, and Star Killer Base and these stupid. Well, you know what? It's not the same thing. It's a planet, actually, not a moon. It's a planet. It's got a big hole in it. That's a gun. It can hit multiple. I don't know why I'm talking like Sipo's neighbor. But Multi, you saw this last episode.
I did.
Why don't you give us your take on it?
That was really good. I enjoyed the show so far. All 3 episodes are very good. I just like that show. I know it's aimed at kids, but I still think adults can find some few things interesting. Unfortunately, I feel like there's not that much to spoil because there's no big reveal outside of a few things in episode 3. I don't know if you want spoiler or anything.
Go ahead.
We had a guy that uses the Force or that uses tech. We don't quite know it yet, but we speculate after watching episode 2 that maybe he was a Jedi, but the big reveal about episode 3 is he's not a Jedi, he is a fraud, and he is a liar. And that's pretty much the only thing to really spoil. But yeah, good show. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
there are lots of different speculations of what could have been happening out there and what it was. The one thing is that he could be a Sith, or a former Sith, or a former assistant Sith, if you will.
Deputy
Sith. He could also have survived Order 66, and be a Jedi. No, he's too old. He's not old enough for that. He would be a secondary, like a Padawan to a former Padawan who learned the how to do rudimentary tricks with the Force, which allowed him to grab the key in the previous.
Can't he just be Force sensitive?
He could also just be Force sensitive, because now everybody can use the Force now, because that's one of the things they did. So, and if he actually is a survivor of Order 66, a Padawan that didn't get to go much further than just the basics, it could possibly mean that there is a temporal aspect to the fact of where those planets are. It's in something called the Maw cluster, which is like 1, 2, 3 black holes that keep the planet hidden of At-Aten and everything else, and it's right by one of these space routes or whatever.
Do you know when exactly the show takes place in the timeline?
Yeah, it takes place every Wednesday.
No, like in the timeline of the entire universe. I mean, is it after the original trilogy, or
yes, it's after the original trilogy and before the last trilogy. So the fall of the Empire has happened, but these folks don't know anything about it. And there's another thing that people speculate on, whether or not the planet is actually controlled by the droids that are there to assist everybody, or if everybody is actually assisting the droids in what they're building and what they're doing, and the great work could lead to Star Killer Base or Palpatine's regeneration, and it just everything goes back to the one or two names. It's like the holy families of an entire universe are two names that can go no further than that. What if we wanted to follow Win as he grows up, becomes force sensitive, and then tries to do his own version of Jedi's or whatever and become a hero, or winds up being a pirate later on?
Listen, if Star Wars is the planet Earth, all we care about is one block in Massachusetts. I don't want to hear about China. I don't want to hear about Africa. I don't want to hear about the Netherlands. Just this one block in Massachusetts. That's the only place that matters. And don't get me started on Australia.
Or the first families of politics. There's these names keep coming back over and over and over. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, you can be creative with parallels and not exactly have them be a Skywalker or a Palpatine, or
if
they don't have to be.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, please, sir.
What from? You do a prequel on him then?
No, when we follow Win and he gets to live his dream of being a Jedi Master, he's going to wind up being in Luke Skywalker's school. And if he's in Luke Skywalker's school, he's going to get killed by Kylo Ren.
Nice.
So we know where this is going. If this planet winds up being the secret planet that Palpatine is developed on, we saw what that planet looked like in the third film. It was all smoky and dusty, and everybody's worshiping him. They all become these unholy monks that are worshiping the Sith, and that's not good for them either. I mean, yeah.
I thought that was maybe a planet of the Rebel Alliance, because they were hidden, and it's not that far after the fall of the Empire, so I don't know. Maybe that was a rebel planet, but I find it interesting, your theory that maybe it's the place where Palpatine was created, or whatever, the clone or whatever.
Well, the implication is that planet's Aden's being hidden by someone, whether it be the good guys or the bad guys. But it would be nice if it weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's still mystery behind it, and what a great surprise if it wasn't either the Empire or Rebels.
The idea that I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pops.
I said Thrawn. It's Thrawn. Oh, I'm gonna have to check out, guys. I gotta get ready for like a full day of programming over here.
Pops, why don't you tell everybody what they are missing if they stick with us and not follow you?
Oh no, you're good till 1 o'clock. Man, you're good till 1 o'clock. If you're still on at 1 o'clock, then what can I say? Madness Open Draw Stream, 1 o'clock. The show offs with Dave, Texas Dave, at 3:30. 3 Beer Men at 7. Silver Line at 8. And the Horror Movie Club is covering Roman Polanski's The Tragedy of Macbeth tonight at 10:30 p.m. So there you go, a full evening of program.
Is that in every time zone at those times, or?
Yeah, every time. No, Eastern. Everything's Eastern.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure so nobody missed it and had to watch a rebroadcast of it or the playback, and then they missed something else because they're watching the playback instead of watching it live and missing out on commenting on what's going on. So
it's just everywhere, bro. We're everywhere. We're on Twitch, Twitter, Pill, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. We're everywhere, so you can't miss it.
Can't miss it.
If you're online, you can't miss it. I'm just saying.
You just can't. You just can't. Thanks, Pops, for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite, as always. You guys have a great day. And, Saturday night main event, guys. Do better. Do better.
Have a good one.
Take it easy.
What surprised me the most about Skeleton Crew is how, I feel like nobody's talking about it. Why is that?
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. Nobody's watching it. And you know why I know? Well, Here's the thing. Here's the thing, fellas. Here's the thing. All right, you've got over 158 million subscribers to Disney Plus. That's what they're bringing. That's the latest estimate of how many subscribers they have of the last time they've done estimate. 150 million. And that's like right at the number of people who viewed the most watched show last month, or close to it, 120, 100, something like that. And there's so little people who are subscribed to Disney that are watching the show that it doesn't even register on the top 10 when it premiered.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
Did not register it. So what you have is the few people on Disney who watched it, who rated it high, mind you. It's like if you were to go to like God forbid, Rotten Tomatoes, and look at top rated streaming shows, it's right up there at number 2 or number 3. Like, people are actually watching it, but they're not. Even if they are watching it, they're not paying Disney to watch it. So there's an issue where pirating could be really devastating Disney's statistics. Does that make sense, Charles?
Sort of.
I think it makes sense when it comes to like most digital things like that. There's just way too many streaming service. I don't think everyone pays for everything because there's too many of them.
Mm-hmm.
So piracy is really like something a lot of people do use. And I think it's a bit unfortunate, to be honest, because I hated The Acolyte and everyone talked about it. And nobody talks about that one good show Disney is making.
Charles is right. The people that are actually hating on it are saying things like, it's made for kids. It's boring.
It's boring.
The girl with the half robotic girl who's got implants in her. She's a Mary Sue because she can do a lot of stuff. I think you answered why she can do a lot of stuff there, guy. And so, the complaints, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not a perfect show. It's not as well written as it possibly could be, but it's not a bad show either. And it deserves to be, have a conversation. Bryce says everyone is watching it with the Blender guy. Who's the Blender guy?
I'm lost. I don't know what that is.
It's a Futurama reference, maybe.
A Futurama reference?
Maybe.
The main problem with Star Wars YouTube and Star Wars social media is if they don't have something to complain about, it's not worth watching or talking about. And there is a certain sect of those people that are like, we want something new, we want something new. And this is something new. Like, shut the fuck up and watch. Oh, apologies.
That's okay.
Shut the frick up and watch it, because it's new. Like, you're being handed things that you're asking for, and I don't know. It's such a weird.
It's something new. It's something I got excited about. It's something I had hopes for, and they're gonna do what they did with She-Hulk.
They're gonna screw it up. I like, if they don't screw it up, I'll be thoroughly impressed. But
oh yes, so will I. I'll be happy, and I'll sing its praises. I'm not saying that I know exactly how every story should go, and you should buy my six episode course on writing, which is coming up next year. Because why not? Why not?
I also gotta say that, like, I feel like a lot of the Disney stuff usually it's very, very slow, but here I think the pacing was kind of good so far, and that surprised me coming from Disney, because usually Disney, they feel like they're stretching stuff for the sake of it because they're like, oh, we want like an 8-hour show, even if there's not 8 hours to be made about the thing they are doing. But here, it's not like that.
Each episode, they've dropped something that has kind of been important for the story proper. Like last week, it was the well, I guess the fact that Jude Law is there. This week, it was the owl person thing, and that leads you to wonder who they're in cahoots with, because that seems a little fishy when they made that call out to the X-Wings.
And they may still be ready to channel some of the early 90s movie references for kids' movies, being that one of them is in urgent need of medical care, and she wound up saying she was cold at some point and didn't lead nowhere in the story, so it's obviously something to be left for a different episode, which means that her medical needs will wind up putting her life in danger later on. So it's what I call the Benji kicking the dog thing. You remember those, Charles? Benji, the dog movies and the kids movies?
I remember them, yeah.
They always kicked the dog. And that was an emotional heartbreak that they would use as a crutch to get the kids invested in the rest of the story in the film. Sometimes it was the girlfriend. Sometimes the little boy would get trapped in the well or whatever, or they would slap the girl, the kidnappers or whoever it is, and the bad guys. Some kid in this show is going to get hurt, and it's going to be towards the end. Will it be fatal? I don't think so, because it was rarely fatal back then in the 70s and early 80s, but it was very, very traumatic. So if they're following the old style of children's filmmaking, the half robot girl is going to get hurt at some point, and they're not going to be able to fix her until they get her back to AT-AT.
And that kind of goes into something that I think at least kids stuff from the 80s and 90s, like Goonies, things like that. They were kids, sure, but they were in like real life danger. This to me doesn't feel like it's just they're making like Star Wars with training wheels. These kids very clearly are in danger. So it doesn't feel like it's patronizing anyone. And I don't know. Me as a grown up is jealous that me as a kid couldn't experience this, because I'm having fun, but I'm too old for this crap.
I get that feeling, man. I feel like my half sister is the perfect target audience, and I will tell my mom, maybe you should take a shot at it and see if my sister would be interested. But I'm wondering what a kid would see in this. That I think kids would enjoy that a lot. I think
they would experience something that they've never had before. An honest, not necessarily honest, but not a dishonest look at childhood. Disney has made an entire empire putting out dishonest looks at children and family on their Disney channels. All grown-ups are stupid. All grown-ups are idiots. All kids are smarter than their parents. No kid can make a mistake that's going to do any kind of lasting harm or whatever. The opening sequence in this show, has this kid pushing a button, which I think they shouldn't have done on camera. I think it would have been much better if they left him looking at that. Don't push the green button.
Oh.
Don't push the green button. Linger on him for a second. Just have him stare at it. And then cut away back to the cockpit. And all of a sudden the ship starts moving and he runs in. I didn't push anything. That to me would have been far more effective than watching him hit that button and seeing everything happen.
Yeah, there's been some unfair criticisms for the wokeness of things, because there was a line in the first or second episode where the two girls and the two boys, they didn't get along, and I don't know if you've ever grown up as a child around members of the opposite gender, you were grossed out by them. It wasn't like an ooh yay girl power thing. That's what kids do. Ew, boys, gross. Like I didn't see it as anything other than, oh, it's kids being kids, when they're together with other friends. Like
That's true.
I don't know
agree
how
with
you could read into that at all.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And his appreciation of the girl had nothing to do with her being attractive or her playing her feminine wilds, if you will. He liked her bike. He loved
Yeah.
her bike. That was awesome.
Yeah.
She didn't play by the rules. He doesn't like playing by the rules. That's awesome. His attraction towards that character, and it shows later on that it's not her personality at all, because they
Something
don't
like her
get along.
rebellious nature.
Yeah, there's there's something about her that he enjoys, and it has nothing to do with her looks, her appearance, or being a female or anything like that. If she was a guy, he'd hang out with her.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, because that would be the cool guy, who's kind of aloof, who's a little bit rude, kind of a troll, and knows how to take advantage of people. And when she said "stupid boys," she got corrected by her friend for calling him that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't think that criticism is fair. I really don't. I mean,
No,
I
it's-
wouldn't normally, but I
it's
really
not
think you're
fair.
reaching this time.
The very first Charles Schultz Peanut strip had Lucy and her friend talking as Charlie Brown walked by. There goes Charlie Brown. Boy, Charlie Brown loves to help out around the house. Charlie Brown turns in his homework on time. Charlie Brown does this. Charlie Brown does that. And he walks past them. And once he gets out of earshot, she says, "I really hate that guy." Would that be wrong today? Some people would say it, but this is the way people
Kids are like that. My
Right.
sister is disgusted by a regular kiss on the cheek or the front. It's like kids are like that.
Yeah.
So
Kids think
Yeah.
they're smarter than they are. They think they're stronger than they are. And they hate any sort of sex talk. Ooh, cooties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think so far, this show has nailed what being a kid is like. So far.
Which is
I
good.
agree 100%. I in one of the characters I see my sister being like that.
I think
Oh.
the girl's mother is, whether or not she's voluntarily or knows it, I think she's doing something for a bad person. It's just a
I
slight
think
hunch.
she
that I have.
knows it. I think she knows it. And I think she was playing along with the we need to talk to the overseer kind of guy.
Yeah.
And was not really nearly as surprised as everybody else when the robot refused. So yeah, I think she's like the human equivalent of Hitler's woman.
Oh, Ava?
Yeah. Ava Braun. I forgot that name, Ava Braun. It's hard to forget a name like Ava Braun, especially when you say it like Ava Braun.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up for this show because I really do expect them to drop the ball. But if they just continue at this pace, I'll be really pleasantly surprised at what they put out. And of course, nobody's watching it, so they won't do anything with it.
No, but it is a good time for Multi to talk to his stepmother and half
Your sister on that.
My half sister and my mother. So we have
Yeah.
the same mother and not the same dad. Complicated family stuff. But yeah,
You and 90% of America.
That's complicated.
That's not complicated at all. In fact, that's easy. But sorry, I apologize for that. That was uncalled for. But Multi, there are 3 episodes out now, and they're all under 30 minutes, I think. So
no,
Under
the first
40.
one was longer. The first one was like 45 minutes, and I think the other two are around 30 minutes.
38.
Yeah.
So, but again, you got the setup involved with that and introduction of the kids and everything else. So, but it's a quick binge if she's into binging, and that's if she gets it on Tuesday or gets into it on Monday, Tuesday, or today even. There's a new one happening on Wednesday. So if she does get into it, and if not, that would be an interesting thing for you to comment on.
Yeah.
Did she not enjoy it, and why not? Because
Yeah.
she is the actual target audience.
Yeah.
It's not us old farts here.
That's true.
So
That's right.
But yeah, that was a Skeleton Crew. Any final thoughts on Skeleton Crew?
Don't screw it up.
I agree. I think my favorite episode so far is the third episode because it kind of fixed one of the issues I had with one of the kids in the first episode. I was like, she's just a plot device. Like, she doesn't feel like a character that's really needed. But this week, she really shined. I think they did really good job fleshing her out. And they also patched up the fact that the guy waited until people met him in the cell to escape. That kind of made sense. So yeah, this episode was really good.
Which girl?
Yeah.
The girl with the glasses. I felt like
Visor
she was,
girl.
Oh,
yeah, I thought in the first episode she was the weakest of the four. I was like, she's just there to help out the kids. She's not really that needed when it comes to like characterization or like her character. Like she could have been like her ability to act or to know tech could have been transferred to any other kids, and that would have been better. But this week, she had some justice. I think she really felt like. She felt like a character that really stood on her own this time around.
There you go. Charles, any last words on that?
I'm excited. Cautiously so.
Yeah, I think they're gonna circle back to a Palpatine. I really do. And
Yeah.
I'm not excited about that.
Right.
I've been very vocal about that from the very beginning. And being a paranoid hypochondriac, I really enjoy being wrong. So I hope
it can
I'm
be
wrong.
a Jedi, but can it just be like, Greg the Jedi? Like, don't have it be something we know. Just have it be a guy that we never heard of, and
Yeah.
figure out why we never heard of him later. Just have it be.
I
Greg
was
the
the
Jedi.
little boy that
I stubbed
faced
me
off
toe.
with Anakin when he drew his lightsaber. Unlike the others, I ran. And there's a whole time warp thing here within the mall. So that's why I'm not as old as I should be.
I was in a coma. I was in a medically induced coma.
So, yeah, you're all about 200 years old. You just don't know it. So, again with your neighbor, the downstairs neighbor this time.
So I think that's the perfect moment for me to head out. Thank you a lot for having me on. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys, and I'm looking forward for next week. Skeleton Crew and Creatures Commando is also very good. So I will let you guys keep going. Have a great day to the both of you.
Okay. Thank you for being here, Multi. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. Oh, wait a minute. Before you go, why don't you tell everybody?
Nope.
Gonzo. He's Gonzo. Have you seen Creature Commandos?
I have not. I know Gray's quite a fan of it, though.
Yeah, but Gray is out of town.
Unfortunately, not here.
Yes. So, let me see. Where is it? There it is. Boom.
I watched Dexter, and that's painfully uninteresting.
Oh, that guy
So
doesn't even
far.
look like a younger him.
They certainly dress like them. It's really obnoxious. They just put their outfits on.
It's like you're wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
It's just like Ronald McDonald's. Everybody buys it.
Yeah. I it's only one episode, but I'm not really too enthusiastic about that.
What is that on?
Showtime, Paramount Plus, both.
Showtime.
Mm.
Ooh, I did jazz hands. All right, let's take a look and see what happens here.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh, good timing.
box office, that means we're going to the movies. Hang on a second. I've got an intro for that.
Wheel of Topics. Oh, wait, that's not it.
See if I can get to it now. Here we go. There's that one. And then I got to do this. I'm still getting organized. I finally got a point where I could do our intros.
Nice.
We'll still be on screen, but at least it's there now. Here we go.
Nothing. Is there supposed to be music?
Son of a gun. Yes.
There's not music.
There's not music.
I see you bopping your head, and I'm like, I don't know what he's bopping his head.
Why is there not music? It should be a monitor. Wait, which one of these is the one that's got music?
Are you on OBS?
Yes.
It monitor output and it's both.
That's how I have it set. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Negative 6.5 decibels, monitor, and output.
Output is what we should be hearing.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's ridiculous. It was working the other day.
Son of a biscuit.
I had my son do that. You know how many intros? I've done all the intros this time. I did this.
What? This whole show?
This whole show. Yes. This whole show.
Add your own song.
Yeah.
OBS is so fickle.
But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to quit the stream in anger. I'm just going to move forward because I'm hard-headed like that. So, yeah.
Fix it in post.
I could fix it in post, but I'm not. All right, where's it at? Let me come over here, and I'll do this part right there. Am I the only? Is Charles the only one who didn't hear it? Let me know out there in the comments if you've been hearing the music in the intro.
Yeah, it might be just because I'm in the thing. That's
yes,
fair.
It could be that. So let us know if you heard the music on that, and if you didn't hear the music, let me know. Meanwhile, I'll throw that up real quick. Boom! There's a logo for it, right there.
Wait, by that logic, can you hear this? Did you hear that? Okay. All right.
Yes. I don't know if I refreshed this or not. There we go.
Refresh it again.
Refresh it again.
Oh wait, that's single day. That's Sunday.
Oh.
If you back out and go to weekend, yeah, you're on dailies. Highlight the box office. Yeah, there you go. Weekend.
There we go. Okay. Not a lot of change from the daily. There it is. Bri called it out. No music. We got no music. Wait,
that's
I got to
crummy.
Here and do that. So I'll try to work on that again. So that's that. Did you hear Charles's music? Charles, play that music again.
Again? Wait.
Did you hear that, Bri? Let us know in the comments.
Maybe it's Restream?
It could be. It could very well be Restream because I know I'm on the Chrome because everybody's mad about the Chrome. Oh, he did hear it. He did hear your music, just not mine. I'm the a-hole here. Okay. So, looks like I'm going to have to bring out the soundboard too. That soundboard, I'm not a fan of it. Moana 2 took number 1 again, beating out Wicked. They're both down into the 30 to 40%.
Oh, it says yours is there, but it's quiet.
Oh, really? My music that I'm playing right now, yeah, I've got it really low because it tends to be high in our ears.
Go back.
Yes. See, I'll turn that off now, and then we'll do one more try with, let me see. Yeah, it's right here. It should Let me do this. And let me do this. And then no music. So yeah, you should have heard that. So you should have heard something. On that. But let me focus on what we're doing here instead. Moana number 2 was at number 1. Switch these around here so you're not covered up by what's being said here. Yeah, I gotta figure out a different way to bring back those intros. So no OBS for that one. Again, with the neighbor, this time upstairs.
See, the interesting thing is Wicked is going down, but not quite at the same rate Moana 2 is. At some point, Wicked is going to leapfrog because last week Moana 2 was at 48%. Wicked, dropped 48%. Wicked only dropped 38%. And over the course of time, if they maintain that rate, Wicked, maybe 2 weeks from, probably Christmas week, it'll probably leapfrog. But
Yeah.
those numbers are interesting. And you also consider the fact that Moana's on more screens too.
Yeah, Wicked's going to come back up. It may still be in theaters when part 2 comes out, and they may do a double feature if they want to play the long game, but they may not. Craven the Hunter.
How well versed are you in that? Because that's kind of disappointing, those numbers.
What, with Craven the Hunter?
Yeah, the original material.
Yeah, it's we got that's part of the Spider-Man subject. What's going on with Craven the Hunter?
Oh, okay.
They have decided to cut bait on the whole villain Marvel Spider-Man bad guy universe. So Craven the Hunter comes out, and some of the reviews say that it seems like a practical joke movie being played on the audience, which we had earlier this year with Joker. That's the way Quentin Tarantino saw it, as an FU to the audience and the movie theaters. And so that for him made it the best movie ever. Because they just screwed everybody and made a film that nobody would really want to watch.
Go ahead, you make one now, Quentin. As much as you love that.
Yeah. So watching the junket for this, it didn't seem like they were playing it for a joke. They were really pushing it in the interviews and talking about how much they enjoyed playing the characters and how well the story was written and this and that, and how it's not played for laughs. It's a serious film about being a serious criminal and being a villain, and it's not an anti-hero. He's not an anti-hero. He's not a dark hero. He's not a hero at all. He's not a superhero. He's just a man who can do stuff and kills people. So he's not the hero. He's the villain of the show, of the movie. Even though you got people like Rhino showing up in it. I have yet to see it, but the internet and Cole, they have opinions. And sometimes they're negative. But you can't get past the fact that it only made $11 million.
It's not good.
And this is still the estimate, though, right? Yeah.
Yep. Green is estimate.
Still the estimate for the weekend, but it's not good.
Venom did 50 something in its opening weekend.
Yes.
And that was something that people didn't really care for. So I don't know what 11 means.
I think Madam Web did 20.
Yeah.
Opening weekend.
Yeah. 26, I think. Yeah.
So if you were to use the gross as a measurement of quality, I don't always recommend that either, because there's some artsy movies out there on less screens that would do that. But playing Sony against Sony, and all things being equal in Sony productions and theaters, you put the grosses against each other. Craven is a lesser movie than Madam Web, which I couldn't finish.
Yeah. I mean, you have people that make decisions. They release things at certain times for specific reasons. So to release something 10 days before Christmas, you had to have some sort of confidence in this thing. Otherwise, why not release it in March? It doesn't make sense for them to put things like that in December. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If you're a studio that gives a damn about an audience and you have some sort of confidence in the material, then you put it here. But if you're not that confident, and unless they just laid it out there to be released and they knew it was going to bomb, and it like is the nail in their coffin that they're like, look, see, this didn't work, we're throwing it all away.
You got to think that was the strategy, seeing as how they made that announcement
the next day, right?
A week before it was released.
Before.
Yes, it was. It's the same week actually. This week is when the Sony thing broke that they're giving up on the villain movies, and that was after that, enjoy Craven. So you got to think going in, like the people who work in the gaming industry, they get laid off right after Christmas or right before it. A lot of people knew what was happening in accounting and didn't say nothing. So they knew about it. Sony bigwigs knew about that, and they knew what they were doing. And a lot of people are assuming that they're giving up on making Spider-Man movies.
They should. They should.
They're not.
But they should.
They've got an opportunity, though. Okay. They've got an opportunity to turn this around, and I've got a way that they can use this to do better. Let me just jump over here to the Spider-Man real quick, because I got an intro for it, but I ain't gonna play it.
I'll sing.
I'll just bob my head up and down. Yeah.
Spider-Man, the Spider-Man theme thing.
Something about movies. We'll just jump onto this subject right here. Okay.
Woof.
Craven the Hunter will be the... Why is that in the way? Man. I should have my sea legs by now. Dang it. Sony Spider-Man villain spin-off universe is dead. Craven the Hunter will be the final film in the SUMC. I don't know what that is.
Spider-Man universe Marvel candidate. I don't know.
It's like that's like the kind of thing that people would talk about in bars when they're deciding who they're going to take home for the end of the night. Some see. That took way too long to get there. Holy smokes! I got to get rid of this too. Hang on a second. I used the entire screen, didn't I? Oh no, R.I.P. the Sony Spider-Man villain cinematic universe, or as I like to call it, the Sinister Six that never was. Looks like Craven the Hunter is the last hurrah.
Oh.
But seriously, what even is the SUMC? Some unlucky movie concepts? That's not bad.
Oh, I like Suffering Unending Mediocre Cinematic Universe. I like that one better.
That's good. Yeah, we got our favorites. No wonder they want to end the villain universe. Everything they touch in that universe has deteriorated quicker than cardboard left outside in the rain.
Yeah.
Cardboard has staying power, so I don't know what to come. I knew it was going to crash and burn, but this is worse than a shipment of rattlesnakes and mongooses crashing into each other. Total catastrophe. Total catastrophe. Thought I'd get to tell everyone at work, but I told them so again, and they hate that.
But like at some point, these studios need to be slapped in the face and realize, oh, we can't plan franchises the way Marvel has done for 15 years. We have to go back to the way movies used to be made and make a movie, hope it does well, and then work on other projects spawning from that. You can't just say, All right, we have 6 things we're going to do, and we don't really give a crap about making any of it worthwhile. We just know we want to make 6.
Yeah, I agree with you. And apparently, look at that. Their predictions were a little higher than they weren't aiming
Under.
that high. They weren't aiming that high either. They were.
Yeah, I think I saw 18, and that was this time last week.
They were still aiming lower than Madam Web.
That's bad. That's really bad. The second week of December, that's really bad.
Marvel characters targeting 13 to 15 million from 3,200 theaters in its opening weekend, based on projections. Kraven the Hunter could contend with February's.
Oh,
Misfire.
15.3. Oh no, wait, yeah, because Madam Web was the holiday weekend. It was the Valentine's Day weekend. That's why it was more. The 3-day was 15.3.
Yeah, the important part of this gossip is that Kraven cost an upwards of 111 million to produce. It was greenlit for 90, but ballooned after last year's writers and actors strike. How long can you blame that? Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all got to get over yourself at some point. Let's see, where was I? That don't matter. Okay. That was the last one? All right.
Yeah, if 13 million is paltry, what do you say about 11? And I bet it'll be under that, because that's an estimate. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 10.5. Bad.
Yeah.
How about if you don't want to listen to me about making your plans for 6 films without making a good one first, just lower your budgets. Make a mid-tier $50 million film.
That's all you got to do, buddy. That's all you got to do.
Why is that so difficult?
It's really hard for them to get out of disastrous ways that they've created for themselves. This one's the one. Okay. Did it work?
Hmm?
Did my computer freeze up?
You're talking.
No. Oh, I can do stuff. Look at that. Oh, I know what happened. Hang on. I got to go over here and do that. Look at that.
Oh.
Tiny writing. There's Kraven. This comes to us from RosalisEntertainment.com/Sunday, where every now and then we have an article written by the staff writer whose initials are ChatGPT. Not funny? Not a joke? Okay. With the release of Kraven the Hunter, Sony's Spider-Man's extended universe is pivoting away from the villain-centric spin-offs, according to reports on X, formerly known as Twitter, because that's the way Prince was called. The artist formerly known as Prince. This film will mark the end of Sony's foray, there's a word I wouldn't use, into standalone stories for Spider-Man villains.
More
Peter
like
Parker,
5.
Miles Morales. I'm sorry, what's that?
I said more like 5A.
Hmm.
It's a bad pun. 4A.
Yeah.
They can't all be winners.
They can't all be winners, but they're going to keep coming nonetheless. Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man Noir are among the main Spider-Man characters that Sony is reportedly focusing on going forward. So they're going to keep making the Spider-Man movies with actual Spider-Man. That begs the question, what's going to happen with their deal with Marvel after Spider-Man 4?
They're gonna lose Venom then, right?
Yeah. Oh well. Yes.
They're villains. They were making those movies to keep the licensing, weren't they?
Yes, they were. But now they're making the movies for Spider-Man to keep the license, and they figure Spider-Man will do better if their Spider-Man movies will be better if they have a Spider-Man in it, and that's a solid bit of pondering there.
Yeah.
Why I say it like that? But yeah, solid bit of pondering by Sony and its executives. Should we have Spider-Man in our Spider-Man movies? Well, the Wicker Spider-Man didn't help, Madam Web. So yeah, they're going to do that. And then we go into what is possibly the arrangement that Sony has regarding Spider-Man and its IP properties, and speculation. Disclaimer: this is speculation based on publicly known, publicly available information. Based on those speculations, we can figure that they have exclusive film rights. They have an active production clause. It's character specific to Spider-Man and every character afterwards, including the ones that they create today to be in the Spider-Man movies. They can do a standalone or shared universe if they felt like it, which is why you saw a little bit of Venom dropped off there. And they have indefinite ownership, means it can go on forever as long as they continue to make these movies. That's what it seems like. It's not like they're trying to cram everything in at the last minute to do something before they lose the rights. They're not going to lose it because essentially the contract would be conditional, and they paid only $7 million for the rights.
So they're just greedy? They're greedy and terrible at their job?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That tracks.
So yeah, they did a collab. They do have a collaboration with Marvel Studios that is keeping them going, and there are financial stakes for everything. But I put some links down here so you can do the research yourself if you like it.
Those animated ones are really fun. They should just figure out where their lane is.
Yeah,
and stay in it.
I think they're going to continue with the animated films. I don't think they're going to do a live action movie unless they want to keep Tom Holland, because he said he would only continue making Spider-Man movies if he could teach Miles Morales how to be Spider-Man. But that's the not the Tobey Maguire, but the Andrew Garfield's character is the one that does that. His Spider-Man is the one that does that. Not the Peter Parker. So, but that's if you stick to canon, which, God forbid you do that. So, but the interesting part to me is that they made all these flop movies to come out, and now you don't have to introduce the villains in any Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's had his introduction in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The villains have had theirs in the Sony. So Sony, if they had a right mind, could find a couple of writers to sit down and write an in-universe Spider-Man movie with the characters that are already established and build upon those characters this great story, like in the comic books. Not movies without the villains, like in Marvel. Not movies without the heroes, like in Sony. But a Spider-Man movie with the villains, where you don't have to show an origin story of somebody getting their superpowers and becoming heinous. You already know their motivations. You already know who these characters are. You already know, well, unless you, except for Craven and Madam Web, nobody saw those.
Too much effort.
But you could do that now, and you can move forward and do it right. They're not.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. But they could. It's there. It's right in front of you.
Everyone wants shortcuts.
I says Lucasfilms. I says Disney. To Disney, I says, it's there right in front of you. So there's that. What else did we have? Oh, yeah. We had some Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, Chris Evans.
What's that now? Yes, Chris Evans. Chris Evans is joining Avengers Doomsday. See the little tiny logo in the corner? The little bitty tiny logo. Yeah, that's not working out as well as I thought. Just like everything else. He's coming back, and there's speculation that he's going to play Captain Hydra. But he's already come back in Marvel, and he was not Captain Hydra when he came back. So I think there's a possibility, even though that version of Johnny Storm is dead, that he could play Johnny Storm, a version of him that is still around in the Doomsday universe. And It makes sense that it would be Johnny Storm in the Doomsday universe because that is a Fantastic Four universe. There is nothing in here that says that Doctor Doom is the Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four universe that we're seeing, because Doctor Doom wasn't written into this story. It's a Galactus story. However, if that particular thing causes an incursion that merges universes together, the Fantastic Four could wind up in a universe with this version of Doctor Doom and that version of Johnny Storm partnering up with them.
Wouldn't it, hasn't that been the case in the past, though, in the comics, that Fantastic Four and the Avengers have kind of shared the same pages, should I say?
Yes. As a matter of fact, they all share the same pages.
You know what I'm trying to say, right? I realize I'm not Englishing very well, but
no, that's okay. It's
they've
because
been in the
you're in
same
England. Oi, mate.
You what, mate?
Oi.
Yeah, like they've been in storylines together, I guess is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Yes, they have. Does this work better? Does this work better? Does this work better? There we go. Hey, look at that.
Sorry,
So,
I'm answering something.
Oh, you go ahead. I'll bloviate. Yeah, they have, and this goes along with the idea of there's a what if. There could possibly be a what if featuring the Fantastic Four as baddies. They haven't shown any of that, so it could be a surprise type of thing. There may have been something in the comic books about that. I'm not as aficionado as I should be with the comic books, so I don't know about any crossover stories. But Marvel, their MCU seems to do their own thing, their own way, to make things big. And if everybody's expecting Cap, and they're downplaying the fact that he was Johnny Storm with a bad attitude in Deadpool, yes, thank you very much, and got wasted, nobody's expecting it. And the Russo brothers like to pull out surprises that nobody expects, like putting the title of the next movie as part of the dialogue in their double feature. We're in the end game now.
Roll credits.
I wonder what the next movie's going to be called.
So it's certainly possible that this Avengers movie could just be like new Fantastic Four spin-off stuff, or they're starting from the back.
You've got to be able to put everybody together in the same place so they can play happy nice. And right now they are not. So just like they put Scott Lang in the tiny world, the microscopic world. What is it?
That was the technical term, the tiny world. That's trademark Tiny World.
Yes, I'm avoiding the trademark. That's what I'm doing.
The Quantum Viniverse.
Yes.
The Quantum Mania Tinyverse.
They put him there during the whole thing so that he wouldn't get blipped. And then they brought him out via Rat. So even though he was in the montage at the end of Endgame, he wasn't really there. That was just an error of artistic
counting error.
Yes, artistic license. They put him in the end. He was there as Giant Man running in the background. Luckily, a whole bunch of people just didn't notice because, they were too busy complaining about the women having a moment. So, but in that same vein, they've got to take them out of where they are, the Fantastic Four, and put them where they need to be. And the person to take them out of where they are is Doctor Doom, who is someplace where they need to be. And he will then need to, in Doomsday, pull everybody out of where they are, put them where they need to be, so that everybody can be there when they do Avengers Secret War. And at the end of Secret War, Everything is cleared, fresh start. We got brand new versions of people and brand new characters to introduce that have yet to be introduced, all coming together because in Battle World, wait, I want to see if this works right now. Battle World. Good.
Mhm.
Not everything's screwed up. um, they are all from different universes, different Earths, and their Earths have been destroyed and cobbled together as their own thing. Morning, Michael. Morning to you, sir. Or should I say, boy? Maybe I shouldn't.
Please don't.
So, yeah, a piece of the world is going to be where the X-Men are. A piece of the world is going to be where the Fantastic Four are. A piece of the world is where our Avengers are going to be. But before the Avengers can go there, they have to get their butts kicked by the Dark Avengers of Doomsday. So that's the general idea right now, is that they're going to bring back naughty versions of all of the OG characters that are going to kick the butts of the new characters. And then they're just going to align all the women, and the women are going to beat everybody.
How forgiving of modern movie making do you think the theater going public would be if you just took all of the X-Men, all of whatever we know of as current? Like, I remember Endgame, the idea of that many big names in a movie when that happened just didn't seem possible. And it was just a big deal. And I don't know if I enjoyed it because it was just this once in a lifetime thing, or, you know, it's just just noises and things being shown up in front of my face. Do you think that the regular movie going public would just, the idea of this wide spectrum of characters, like you bring out anything that Marvel has access to, you just put it in this Doomsday thing, and does the story matter to people at that point?
At this point, I think people are just excited about a reboot to get out of where we're at. Because the way they've got this thing structured, there is no reboots. There's no replacing actors, unless the story deems it possible. And I make Marvel sound like a villain whenever I talk to the recast T'Challa group, because I tell them he did his part of the story. He introduced Shuri, so there's no point in bringing him back, and that's how Marvel feels. They're not going to bring him back because Shuri is what the goal was in the first place. I know you don't like hearing that because you wanted T'Challa to be the main man, to be the one that's lifting everybody up, and not these temporary characters that are white characters in the comic books that are turned black characters to fail, and then say, see, we tried it, and then they go back to white characters, which is the complaint from the recast T'Challa crown.
Blade. Like, what is taking so long with Blade?
I can tell you what's taking so long with Blade. Mahershala Ali has final say on the script, and every script that they have given him, they've introduced Blade's daughter and not focused on Blade being Blade with the action hero, because Blade's daughter is the next generation of Avenger. Hawkeye's Kate Bishop, the next generation of Avenger.
How do you give an unproven character / actor that type of control? I could see if it was the second movie and they're like, all right, we want you back here. Can we make this a little bit sweeter for you to sign on to do these things in the future? It's so weird that Marvel from the late 2000s, early 2010s, they just couldn't do anything wrong. And the last 5 to 10 years, they can't do anything right. It's just so weird.
The Russo brothers walked away, which is why they brought them back now. So they thought they could do it without the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers stepped in where the other guys were no longer useful.
I think the Russos are the perfect type of directors for what Marvel wants to do because they're not too big for their britches. They can make you a studio film that is, in line with whatever the hell the big guys are saying to do. Whereas someone like Edgar Wright, he's far too creative. You have these directors that like, "Yeah, I don't want to do everything you tell me. I want to be a little bit creative with this." Whereas the Russos, they'll just pump things out, do it on a timely schedule, and it's
They
fast food.
they put enough effort in it to be fine.
Right.
People who are artistic want to be artistic, and if they are artistic are not allowed to be artistic, they wind up phoning it in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're like a Big Mac. It's fine. You'll certainly go and eat it. I mean, people would like to have a steak, but it's not universally accepted, and it's certainly easier to go and get a Big Mac than it is to go and pay for a filet mignon. At least, it's a
it's
really
like
bad analogy.
you get served a Big Mac by Gordon Ramsay, it's still a Big Mac. And you
Very
ask
good,
him,
thank you.
you ask him, where's the gold leaf? Where's the sliced truffle? And it's like, it's not on the effing recipe, mate.
It's a Big Mac. It's cheese and pickles. What do you want from me?
You're at McDonald's asking me about truffles. Get the out of here. So, and that's essentially what Disney is. I mean, Marvel, which is Disney.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
they're the Big Macs right now, and
Yeah, they cannot be doing steak. Just keep throwing those Big Macs out there.
and right now they got a bunch of people that don't want to do the job that they're hired to do, and it's not working, and so they're trying to make changes to make it work. And everybody thinks they're going to change away from all of the female versions of the characters, but the men have had their shot and they did great. Now it's time to prop up women, according to Disney, and they're not going to step away from that. Shuri's the Black Panther until she actually dons the mask full time, comes out as the Black Panther, not just Shuri being the Black Panther and taking the thing. She's got to be queen of the jungle. She's got to actually have the mantle. She's got to fight a guy in order to keep it because someone's going to challenge her. All of this in a Black Panther movie to solidify that she actually is the Black Panther. No ifs, ands, or buts, and no little boy is going to come in and take it from her.
Don't
And
you
when
think?
that movie tanks, they're still not going to change their mind.
Don't you think they'd be a little smart to not just telegraph everything that they're doing with the whole female angle? Like, just have the proof be in the pudding. Tell a good story. Fool people into realizing, hey, I actually like this character and she's strong, and oh, I'm rooting for her. I can't wait to see what she does next. Instead of just saying, oh, we're going to do this and woman, 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 woman. Wouldn't that be like better for everyone? Where you kind of fool your audience into being like, oh, that was good. I enjoy this. Can't wait to see more. Instead of just saying, there's going to be a woman and you're going to like it. And if not, you're still going to get it.
And you're going to come out and see it. And
Where else are you going to go? DC? Sorry.
DC has not yet greenlit the Batman Caped Crusader movie that they announced early on that they were going to be working on.
Is that
And the-
connected to the Amazon, the Prime
No.
thing?
No,
Oh.
no. This is they are connected to, because everybody's connected. Yeah, I got my connection. They are connected to HBO, Cinemax, Max, and those guys.
Warner, yeah.
Warner, yeah. Yeah, it's a Warner thing.
Mhm.
So their Batman movie is not in production. It hasn't been greenlit yet. The reason being is not that they're dragging their feet. It's not that they've lost their way. They haven't found the
Penguin.
script.
Oh,
They haven't found
Oh.
the right script. They're getting scripts. They're working on them, but it's not right. You know what did land right was Clayface, which got greenlit this week. So a Clayface movie is going to be coming out, and that's going to be moving forward because the script was right. So instead of announcing a bunch of movies and putting dates next to them, they announced a bunch of projects that they want to work on. And instead of greenlighting everything before they have a script ready to go and working on the film and designing things because you have a rough idea of where you're going to go before you actually have a script in hand, they're going to wait until the script is ready and then greenlight the script and then start working on the movie, which is the way movies used to be made. You find a script that you're good at, that you like, and then you greenlight it. You do your production work on it, you edit it, and then you move forward. So that's what they're doing at DC, which is different from Marvel. And this is the new DC, not the old DC. And so, yeah, that's what they're doing there for them. I mean, hopefully they follow that. Not the other two. That is Disney. So what do you guys think out there? Should Sony be projecting what they're going to be doing next? Should they be announcing and starting producing movies before a script is written? Should everybody like me be able to speculate what's going to happen next when it comes to every single movie that's coming on? Love to hear from you. Bri, Michael, anybody else who's out there? And also from the Rumble. We'd love to hear you on the Rumble or the Twitter, which is formerly known as X. Oh wait, that's not right. It's X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, what have you got to say about everything? That's what I'd like to know. Where was I? I think that's it. Guys. I think we covered everything. Unless you got something you want to hear about. Michael, got anything you want to talk about? Anything happening in your neck of the woods? Is concrete drying out? Oh, look at this. Here we go. Sony should stop with the Marvel stuff. Well, if they did, then Marvel would get back their most profitable IP when it comes to movies, and that's Spider-Man. They bought it for $7 million, and they have been riding that wave ever since. They were fighting bankruptcy. Marvel was Marvel Entertainment Group, and were selling out these IP properties like hotcakes just to make sure that they could make the bills and pay the lawyers and stuff. So they sold it to Sony, and like they're doing now, they made an incredibly bad deal, which gave them the right to make movies in perpetuity as long as they made the movies within a certain period of time and they didn't go out of the public eye.
It's funny, the $7 million that they got the rights for in 1999 today is a steal, but they sure are doing their best to just lose all of that good luck back. Like if they stopped now, I think they'd be ahead. What about Anya Taylor-Joy?
What trailer are you talking about? Because she was supposed to be in Nosferatu, and she had to drop out of it due to scheduling conflicts. So
is it Chasm? Because
Chasm?
that looks interesting. Her and I think Miles Teller, they're like guards outside this giant chasm. It looks like it's a pit or something, and they're standing guard. The Gorge. That's it. Not chasm. It's Gorge. That's it. I saw it. It's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's the Gateway to Hell.
Yes. I don't know if that was a spoiler or not.
Well, I think they say it in the show itself that it's the Gateway to Hell.
Yeah, I thought maybe it would have been like a metaphor or something. Maybe
a metaphor. That game company.
Meta 4, Meta 5, Meta 6.
Yeah, I met a 6. She thought I was a 2. But bum. Gotta be quick. You gotta be quick. So, yeah, and they wind up having a long distance romance, if you will, even though they're not supposed to be talking to each other. He tries to come across to consummate their friendship, and he falls into the pit of hell, and they wind up. She dives in
chases after him,
and therein lies the story of what they find down at the bottom with these.
That better be like first act stuff, because trailers have been notorious for showing stuff that they really shouldn't be showing to get you to go see the movie. They're showing you the movie at times.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that dive is right at the third act. I think that's the end of the second act going into the third act. I think that's what that is.
Terrific.
Because it is a heck of a stunt to do beginning the second act, and that's a terrible way to look at things.
I agree.
Sometimes
Brad.
I hate the filmmaker because I look at things the wrong way. The Gorge, it's called. Yes, right. You got that.
It does.
Can you tell I found the right screen again? It does seem to give away a lot. Yes.
But that's like modern trailers. Like,
Yeah.
you do a 2-minute version of the movie and people still want to go and see it. Just a bloated version of that trailer they just saw. I do not understand modern film going audiences. I really don't. I don't want to see trailers now.
The best jokes are always in them.
Yep.
You know,
Stuff
or
that's not in the movie.
here's what the Russos are really bad about is throwing stuff in there from the cutting room floor that
Yeah.
doesn't make it into the movie theater so that you
Yeah.
don't accidentally see something you should see. They mislead the audience. So you got two kinds of trailers out these days. You got the kind where they mislead the audience and the kind where they give you
Too
everything
much.
in one shot.
Yeah, I want Don LaFontaine back, where it's just 3 sentences. You interested? Good, go. A man in a world. He's
Where
stuck.
there are women.
June 13th.
In a world where cars race each other. Lightning McQueen will find love. In the Cadillac Hills. I always wanted to be him. I always wanted to be him. I can't do him right. I don't do him any justice when I do that. But yeah, I always wanted to be that guy.
Check out Anya Taylor-Joy's The Gorge.
And that's yeah,
Sunday. Sorry.
she's got some big eyes.
She's got, I always think it's, my wife knows this and I keep forgetting her name, Wahlberger syndrome, where the eyes are a little too far apart. Whataburger? I forget what it's called.
Whataburger syndrome. I suffer from that, actually. I suffer from Whataburger syndrome.
I mean, she's gorgeous, but there are times where it's just like, I could fit a brick between your 2 eyes and you'd be able to see me still.
She looks like that little, I don't know if you remember the advertisement, the Quiznos monkey.
No.
You don't.
The
Okay.
Quiznos monkey.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm about to,
Miss
Go
Quiznos.
on.
That's for...
you don't know what Quiznos is?
Oh, no, I do. The better version of Subway. Hot stuff.
Tappity tap tap tap.
What is the prompt on the song that we're listening to right now? Is it like 80s crime?
Yes,
Drama
80,
theme? Is it-
80s crime series is what the prompt was to get that out of AI.
It sounds like, I don't know, something that would be on After Night Court.
Yeah, or late night talk show. Forget exactly what it was. I can go back and find it. I'll go back and look for it and tell you what it is.
It's not that important. I feel like I'm watching the credits for a crime show.
So yeah, the Quiznos monkey has eyes that are too big.
She's prettier than that.
Well, yeah, but you get the wrong angle, and those eyes.
Back.
Let me see if anybody's done that before.
Oh no.
Just
Not yet.
oh, you
Yeah,
see
her
what I'm
eyes are apart. Whataburger syndrome. And again, she's very attractive. Don't mistake what I'm saying as
I think
ugly.
you'll find that her eyes are as spaced apart as they are. Stop it! I'm not going to give you any money. Oh, I can't. I can't. It won't let me show you.
What?
Stupid.
They want you to give money to show Anya Taylor-Joy's face?
Yep. I'm gonna do my workaround there. Haha! I worked around you. So yeah, if you were to measure this eyeball from this corner to this corner, you're gonna find that it's pretty darn close to here. I mean, it does look wider here because this is the side of the nose and it should be projecting outward, but it's projecting sideways because it's a flat image. It's 2D, not 3D. So right now it does look longer than it should be, but I would be surprised if it was not. That if you measured from here to here, that it would be right here. And that's the way eyes should be. However, if she does suffer from Whataburger syndrome, it's going to sit right here in the middle of the nose with gaps on either side. Does that make sense?
Whataburger.
I'm moving my mouse around on the screen. It's not showing up in the screen.
Yeah, you meant
Actually,
from here.
you know what? I'm not even showing you the screen. That's why. Here we go.
I see the mouse now.
Yeah. So from here to... Oh, it's not doing it. Anyway, I can't do my illustrations on here, so... Avengers Doomsday, yo. So...
We need to bring Anya Taylor-Joy into a garlic phone and then paint on her head.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, we should... We should, when we've got more people, do garlic phone. But we don't. It's just the two of us.
Yeah. People that watch my channel, they don't do well at drawing.
They don't do well at the drawing.
No.
Yeah. No, but it's
They don't
amusing.
like having fun either. No, it's a great time. I really enjoyed here even at Thinkers. It's fun. It really is fun. People take it somewhat seriously, yet still try to have fun, and it's a good time.
Yeah, yeah, and I love everybody's different takes of how you look.
I always have a blue hat, apparently.
Yeah, it's always blue. It's got to be blue. It's got to be blue. Always with the blue hat. It's the worst Trump ever. So, yeah. What do you got going on your neck of the woods since Gray isn't here?
I don't know.
You got you're gonna go over the final numbers and the
over
under tonight.
Perhaps there's a chance that we may not do it because it's not really we're not heavy on news. So keep an eye out. I don't know. I'll probably do a live stream later on in the week. But
okay. Send me a message if you're gonna do a live stream with the Gardic phone, and
will do.
I'll be sure
Yeah.
to jump up in the comments there, and
I could certainly use your artistic prowess. That's for sure.
I'll draw you kicking a duck again, regardless of what the prompt is. I'll do that somewhere right in the middle of it, just to throw everybody off and be like, "What is this?" It's an inside joke.
You wouldn't get it.
It's purposely not funny for you, but it's a joke. It's a joke. Not everybody's going to get it. Some people will, some people won't. I'm going to go raid the kids' stockings. How about you? Their Christmas
I will not
stockings.
do that, but I'll probably go eat.
Yes, yes. Thanks for being here, Charles, and thanks to everybody
me.
else who showed up. We had a great time. I do tend to flounder a little bit when I don't have a co-host.
Oh, no Bob this morning?
No Bob this morning. Bob is under the weather. He actually had to go seek medical attention.
Oh, wow.
Hope
you're doing well, Bob.
If you were here on time, you would have heard that. He's he's not feeling well, so get well soon, Bob. Feel better.
Mm.
Don't stop doing so much cocaine, and just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good to have Cole. It was good to have Cole. Cole is still in recovery. He's working hard, but it was he had something important he wanted to say, and I'm glad we had a chance to let him say it. We love to have Cole on. He knows all about the DVD movies that are released, and he covered a lot of them today when we went back over those. So we got through a couple of topics and then went back over them, as we do whenever somebody shows up, because that's how we do things around here. A little bit of a candy ass operation, if you will. That's what I got going on. Videos with no music, music with no videos, guests that can come and go as they please. It's awesome. It is awesome because you never know what's going to happen. That's why you got to show up every week to watch the show. And the best way to do that is to like and subscribe on whatever platform you're at. If you're on the Twitter, do that because we're there. If you're on Rumble, click the whatever the button is that's equivalent to like and subscribe. And of course on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're at we're bouncing around 400, and we'd like to get to a safer number like 425, 450 as we make our way to 500. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, wake the dog. That's right. I peel from David Letterman too. If it's funny, I will do that. Stealing jokes is best when you do it right. Told my son a joke, and I told him a clean joke because I couldn't tell him the joke I wanted to tell him. The thing about jokes is jokes are like a mystery, I think. You think you're going one way, and then all of a sudden you get to the twist ending that goes in a different way. A joke, at the end of it, you laugh. At the end of a mystery, somebody's dead. So there's a little bit, more to it than that. But I think Anthony Jeselnik, who's got a new comedy special on the Netflix, is the best at the going left when you think you're going right. He told a joke. He said, I had a friend die recently. It was terrible. She went in for surgery, breast reduction surgery, and she died right there on the table, at least in my eyes. Left turn. And I couldn't tell that joke to my son, but I was in a joke telling mood because I just heard a funny joke. And when you hear a funny joke, first thing you want to do is steal it. So I told him a different joke. I said, and this is, let me tell you, you're going to realize how old this joke is when you start hearing it, okay? This guy walks into an entertainment agent's office with a dog. And he says, I got the best act here. It's a great act. I got a talking dog. You're going to love it. Ralph here can say, he can hold conversations. And it's a great act. They're going to love us on TV. They're going to love us on stage. You need to book us right now, and we're going to make tons of money. And the agent says, I'm not doing anything until I see that dog talk. Don't make a fool of me twice. He says, all right, we'll show you some of our act. And he says, what's your name? And the dog says, Ruff. He said, what's that thing on top of the house? Ruff. What's your best friend's name? Ralph. And the guy's just like Charles right now. He's like, all right, I've heard enough. Get out of my office. The guy walks out with his dog and he says, I don't know. I don't understand what went wrong. And the dog says, I don't know either. I answered every question correctly. Left turn. Only Charles saw that coming, didn't you?
I've heard a variation of that where
it wasn't clean.
Rough roof was on the bottom of a house, basement.
Oh, okay. So he would have got the gig. That's awesome.
I guess so.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here, Charles. I really
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me.
Time out of your day. I know it's rough being in 2 time zones at once.
I'm in like 6, I think.
Plus, you're talking to us from the future. So
yeah. Play the number 6.
Play
I
the
don't
number
tell you
6.
what day to play it, but certainly play it. It'll hit eventually.
Definitely play that. Watch your ears, buddy. Watch your ears. Here it comes. What a delay. That stupid mislabeled again. Candy.
In your eyes,